Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everyone, for joining. My name is Sam Rogan. I'm a director of Solutions Marketing and Enablement, and I'll be talking about ArcServe Appliances, a new 9000 series that we just introduced. Just first, a quick reminder of about ArcServe and who we are and where we come from. ArcServe is the world's most experienced provider of data protection. We were around for quite a while. Actually, we were founded in 1983 and delivered our first backup and data protection solution in early 1988. That is more than 30 years ago. That makes us the most experienced data protection provider in the world. And all this time, our focus was always on helping businesses protect the priceless digital assets. We will continue to deliver complete business continuity to mid-size and enterprise businesses across the globe and enable partners to be successful in the data protection segment that continues to grow and expand and enter new verticals. We are 100% channel-oriented, partner-oriented organization. We have 7,500 partners worldwide. And this vast network is made up of distributors, resellers, OEM service providers to reach customers in more than 150 countries from all sizes, all types, all verticals. Throughout our 30-plus year history, we have forged great alliances with world's leading technology companies like Amazon, Microsoft, NetApp, VMware, and many, many others. And so let's talk about ArcServe Appliances 9000 series, and let's talk about disaster recovery. The 9000 series new appliances is a new amazing series that we are introducing about 2 years after we introduced the previous 8000 series that were very successful with our customers. The new 9000 series, based on robust and reliable hardware from world's #1 hardware server manufacturer, introduced double storage capacity, additional RAM and CPU performance, and even 4-hour on-site hardware support. The robust model lineup includes redundant everything: CPUs, power supplies, RAID arrays, hard drives, and SSDs. And we'll talk about that, and I'll share all the details about the lineup. But most importantly, the 9000 series shifted the paradigm of our appliances, becoming the world's first purpose-built disaster recovery and backup appliances. So that begs the question, why disaster recovery? The disaster recovery is one of the most important pieces in business continuity strategy for any company. It ensures that the business can continue running online or offline, on premises and in the cloud without any interruption. However, in our recent survey we have conducted, we have found that 26% of companies only are extremely confident in their ability to recover. That means that 74% are not fully confident in their ability to recover their systems. That's 3 out of 4 companies, an issue for businesses, an opportunity for us and all our partners, including you. Why that confidence is still not there in 2019 when pretty much the entire world is revolving around IT? One of the hints is in another survey that shows that 56% of companies use 2 or more backup solutions. That's complicated to use multiple backup solutions to perform pretty much the same task. Another hint is that IT outages can be different. And in fact, majority of IT outages and IT disasters are caused by human error and hardware failure. And when human error or hardware failure happens, one size cannot fit all. And it's much easier to restore a single system that was brought down by mistake, or a single server that went down because the hardware failed on premises, rather than trying to dump everything offsite or to the cloud. Distinct outages require this different approach to disaster recovery. Single system issue is for on-site. And of course, we still need off-site for wide area disasters. So if you take on-site, the hardware failure or OS crash, it's perfect case, perfect scenario to do recovery on-site. And for off-site, that's for area disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, or fires. So this approach to have both on-site and off-site is called hybrid disaster recovery. So why then most companies don't just implement hybrid disaster recovery and be happy and be able to recover from any disasters? Why 74% are not doing it? Let's take a look. The reason is actually cost and complexity. If you have a traditional three-tier IT applications and infrastructure, right, you would have business critical systems in between that would require 1 to 4 hours RTOs. Most of them is like 1 or 30 minutes. And there would be some on-site infrastructure as well as off-site, mostly in the cloud with Amazon or Azure or DRaaS vendor. Then we'll have a secondary system called Tier 3, where it would have 6 to 24 hours RTOs. And that's where you would have your secondary systems or even unstructured data in your storage, such as NAS or SAN. And for that, there's a high chance you'll have backup, and backup also on-site and off-site. And then we'll have mission-critical systems, Tier 1, that need to be highly available. Those systems where the downtime cannot be tolerated and is not acceptable. So that, and the RTO, of course, there is either near zero or zero. So what do we have here? In order for an IT professionals to put this together from scratch, what it will take? You will need a software for disaster recovery, some form of disk imaging solution for virtual, sometimes virtual and physical systems that would create an images of business critical systems and prepare them for a DR scenario. The software cannot work on its own. It has to be put on some form of hardware. And we have a server from Dell or HP or someone else. And again, server is just a blank bare metal. So there should be some platform that, whether Microsoft Windows with Hyper-V or VMware, vSphere. So we have third component there. And then for offsite, there will be a component that requires management, whether it's a DRaaS vendor or do it yourself with Amazon, EC2, or Azure. Then for backup, many image backup solutions do not support NAS or SAN backup or even non-x86 like Unix FreeBSD systems. So what will happen, there will be one more piece of software to create backups and the storage to put the backups onto. And then there will be offsite storage again. Even if it's the same Amazon or Azure, it's not Amazon EC2, it's Amazon S3. And it's not Azure VMs, it's Azure blob storage. And with that, that's additional layer of management and implementation. And then with the mission critical system, the story repeats. So you would need to have either software or configuration within the existing application and the hardware to store the replica and so on and so on. So the IT professional in this scenario, and that is a very common scenario for mid-market organization, would be required to put at least a dozen components, create this patchwork system with multiple points of failure that will require hours and hours and of time to implement and maintain. And it's very complex. It's easily 12, 15 interfaces to manage. And of course, for the business, it is the costs of implementing, getting all of this together, putting this together, maintaining, and having one or even multiple IT professionals to put this together. This complexity also reflects on you, our partners, because putting all of these pieces together, a lot of headaches on implementation, a lot of headaches with support, and what could happen also, a pinball between vendors. It's not our software issue, it's the hardware issue, it's the platform issue, and the story never ends. It will be either customer's headache or yours. There is a solution to that, Instead of putting things together from small pieces and components manually, get the unified disaster recovery and backup appliance. A single appliance that is reliable, affordable, scalable, and most importantly, all in one, that delivers disaster recovery, backup, and even high availability for mission critical systems. It integrates into existing environments and even support tapes, can protect remote offices, and most importantly, provides an option for protecting systems and data offsite with ArcServe UDP Cloud Hybrid, with our own ArcServe Cloud, or with any public private cloud such as Amazon or Azure or Fujitsu or Eucalyptus. So how can we achieve it? Let's take a look under the hood of ArcServe Appliances 9000 series and what do they deliver. ArcServe Appliances 9000 series, as I already mentioned, are the first purpose-built integrated appliances designed for disaster recovery, backup, and application availability for mid-sized organizations. There is a lot of beef under the hood. It's very accessible and affordable DR, yet it has a punch to it. Up to 20 CPU cores in a single machine and up to 3/4 of terabyte of RAM, 768 gig of RAM. And as I already mentioned, Cloud DRAS add-on for disaster recovery offsite in case of hurricanes, fires, floods, or high availability add-on even for mission critical applications, data, or even the entire systems. The appliance is very scalable. It delivers up to 504 terabytes of effective capacity in a single 2U unit. And due to the fact that multiple appliances can be managed from the same interface, you can manage up to 6 petabytes of backups from a single UI. Appliances are built and designed for deduplication, and they deliver up to 20:1 dedupe ratios. Real life, of course, the dedupe ratios will depend, and we'll talk about dedupe in a second, but most importantly, they don't waste a single byte of space. At the end, you are delivering a simplified business continuity and disaster recovery management to your customers. You give software, hardware, and cloud services from a single vendor. And it's it's a one box. It's 15 minutes to install and configure. It's just like a normal server. Goes into the rack, connects the cable, done. And if something goes wrong, there is 4-hour and next business day on-site hardware support if anything goes wrong. Let's take a look at the model lineup. There are 11 models in ArcServe Appliance 9000 series to serve different sizes of organizations and the size of IT. There are 3 smaller and simpler models from 9012 to 9048 with effective capacity from 12 to 48 terabytes. And you already may have noticed that effective capacity is inside the model number. And the usable capacity of 4 to 16 terabyte. And they're just simple 1U machine, single CPU, but still quite a lot of RAM, 48 gig. And there is an SSD to ensure that the deduplication has the highest possible performance. For flagship disaster recovery models, there are 8 models to choose from 72 to 504 terabytes of effective capacity, which are solid 2U machines with dual CPUs, dual SSDs in RAID 1, of course the hard drives in RAID 6, a lot of RAM. The largest model with 504 terabytes has 384 gig of RAM. So it can spin up dozens of VMs in case of disaster. We have ran 39 VMs in parallel, and there was no even a boot storm. So these are very, very powerful machines. Now let's talk about effective capacity and usable capacity. What are those? Well, this is just a simple industry standard terminology, and let's talk about 3 of them. First is very simple, raw capacity. You heard that a lot of times, I'm sure. That's just the sum of all capacity of hard drives in the device, in the appliance. The model 9360DR has 12 hard drives, 12 terabyte each. So 12 times 12 is 144 terabytes. So raw capacity is just all hard drives together. Now, raw capacity and usable capacity is a little bit smaller. Why? Because RAID 6 requires a few drives for checksums, right? For error correction. And usable capacity is as a sum of total capacities of all volumes in the operating system. And usually it's a raw capacity minus RAID. So it's a 120 terabyte for 9360DR. What is effective capacity then? Effective capacity is the total amount that can be stored on a system, total amount of backups in our case, right? Because we have deduplication. The deduplication is very efficient. And effective capacity amount of backups that you can put into Appliance, we estimate as 3 times the usable capacity, which approximately represents 3-to-1 deduplication ratio. 3-to-1, just to put things into perspective, is a very conservative number. Majority of our customers in the field see 7-to-1 to 10-to-1 dedupes. So we use a conservative number just to set the right expectation. But the most of our customers will squeeze even more. Of course, the deduplication ratio will depend on the customer's environment, retention policies, how many machines are being backed up, what kind of data goes in. And that's what most of our customers have seen in real life. And this effective capacity also represents the value you're selling to the customer, because that's what they will be able to do, and that's how much data they will be able to protect with this device. And it's much more representative to a business compared to just hardware parameters. So that's what this terminology means. If the effective capacity, the capacity you sold, at some point the data grows and it's not enough, we will be giving an opportunity to expand the appliances. A few of the models, 7 models to be exact, can be expanded. And the expansion is extremely straightforward. Just add the drives into the bays and configure. That's it. There are no additional shelves. There is no additional hardware to be procured, just the drives and the RAM. Very simple process. Shut down the appliance, put the drives in, put the RAM in, turn on, couple of things to reconfigure. Done. It's very straightforward and it's the easiest. No problems with new cabling, no need to calculate the power requirement, no need to free up space in the rack. So it's very, very straightforward. And to fit to existing environment, 9000 series have additional expansion options. For example, if there are more LAN ports required for 1 gig, there is an optional 1 gigabit Broadcom card with 4 additional ports. Can be added to 1U or 2U models. For 2U models, there are already 4 ports, so usually it's not required to have more, but just in case it's needed. Teaming is supported. For external SAS devices, such as SAN or tape devices, there is a SAS 12 gig host bus adapter external controller, optional for 1U models and actually included with the 2U models. So there is no additional purchase, even it's already there. There is a way to connect 10 gig base T copper LAN. The optional card is available. It's actually optional for all models except the largest one, the 9504DR includes 10 gig LAN already on board. If the LAN is optic, there is an X710 Intel card optional that provides dual port 10 gig short range adapter optional that can be installed and connected. And the same way it's possible to install 16 gig fiber channel card for fiber channel SAN or tape. All these cards and the hardware comes from largest hardware manufacturer in the world, so these are very, very compatible and reliable cards. The power supplies are dual hot plug and redundant, so if one goes down, just replace it. Actually, you won't even need to replace it. The 4-hour next business day support on site will take care of it. And there is weight, of course, there. All other specs are available in the datasheet. You can always look it up. The appliances come with the software. ArcServe UDP software is included in the price. For the 1U backup models, we have advanced edition of ArcServe UDP included. And with a simple upgrade, it is possible to add premium edition that includes assured recovery, SLA reports, hardware snapshots, role-based administration, and most importantly, full functionality of ArcServe backup. That includes comprehensive tape support and potential to back up non-x86 systems and applications such as Unix, FreeBSD, AIX, HPX, Solaris, all of that, and even Oracle databases, SAP HANA, and more. For disaster recovery 2U models, the premium edition is included. So all this functionality is already in. But what can be added is an ArcServe high availability add-on for mission critical applications. And ArcServe high availability can help applications, data, and even entire systems, full systems, to be highly available. And it's a continuous data protection with a heartbeat. If the original machine goes down, the replica immediately takes over. And it's a near zero recovery time. It's a failover and a failback, so it's a full-scale, complete, high availability for mission-critical systems. The maintenance, what you see the standard list prices, and what I've shown, it was a standard list price from us, does not include maintenance. There are two options for maintenance to be added, gold and platinum. The only difference between gold and platinum is the response time for an on-site hardware support. Gold comes with the next business day. Platinum is 4 hours. Note that the platinum maintenance and 4-hour on-site support depends on the location of appliance installation. Specific address, country, state, city, zip code. And you need to seek an approval from ArcServe to sell platinum maintenance. You can get, you can check the availability of platinum maintenance at any point in time, even during your initial conversation. If you don't get approval, platinum maintenance may be rejected when you put the order through, if it's not available. There are, of course, hardware parts replacement with both options and free software upgrades. That's the usual thing. Phone, email, online technical support, mostly 24/7. Phone is 24/7 for severity 1. That's the usual level of support for any software vendor. Maintenance is not included, as I already said, must be quoted as a separate line. I'll show a few samples of quotes in a few slides. Maintenance for expansion kits and software edition upgrades is also not included and should be quoted separately. We used to have Platinum Plus maintenance in 8000 series. It is not available anymore. If you are familiar with 8000 series, you have already seen the major differences of 9000 series. First of all, it's disaster recovery capabilities. 20 CPU cores, 768 GB of RAM, spin up dozens of virtual machines in case of disaster. It's a very capable device. A new way of expanding with an in-appliance hard disks and RAM. No shelves, no additional hardware required. And it also includes redundant everything. Dual CPU, power supplies, RAID 6 hard drives, RAID 1 SSDs, everything is very reliable and very robust. These are scalable devices up to 504 terabytes effective capacity, double the largest models we had in 8000 series. And it's a new hardware. It comes from #1 vendor in the world by volume. And it's very robust, very reliable, but most importantly, it's very compatible. This hardware is so popular that it will fit into any environment and it will be compatible as is with network, with systems, with everything that is in place. And if something goes wrong with the hardware, there is peace of mind with 4-hour on-site support. We have also simplified our lineup. We used to have 18 models for 8000 series, and 9000 series have actually much less models, 11. And if you go apple-to-apple comparisons, even less. Another piece that you will notice in this table for apple-to-apple comparison is much more competitive prices that we are coming up with. So you will be competitive in pretty much every situation when you talk to a customer. And speaking about competitive situations, there are a few vendors that produce backup appliances. Nobody does disaster recovery appliances, so let's start with that. We are the only ones. And for disaster recovery on the appliance itself, there are some features to do the disaster recovery with everyone, of course, but disaster recovery on the appliance itself can be performed by us and by only one more vendor, Unitrans, but it's very, very limited functionality. Unitrans can only do this for Windows, for special backup, only physical. You cannot do virtual backups, no VMware, no Hyper-V support. Now you have to dedicate the space on the appliance and so on and so forth. It's practical and usable. Rubrik versions Barracuda and CommVault require a separate virtualization host for this operation. So it's not on appliance. Their appliances are not for disaster recovery. 4-hour support on site is not a common thing. There are just a couple of vendors, including us, that deliver 4-hour on-site support. So it's a big differentiator for you to win the deal. Most of them are next business day, and Rubrik is actually non-committal. It's the best effort. Minimum purchase quantity. It's a simple one. In ArcServe, you buy a box, buy an appliance, that's it. Okay. With Veritas, you actually have to buy, in many cases, 2 out of 3 their appliances. You have to buy an appliance and the storage shelves. The appliance itself doesn't have the storage on board. In CommVault, you have to buy 3. You cannot buy one appliance. It's 3 appliances that form a minimum cluster. Global ad source deduplication is something we built the appliance for and put the SSDs in, and it's very, very efficient. Unitrans and Barracuda do not. So whenever you look at the capacities, make sure you understand, is there an deduplication or not? Because the outcome for customer, how much data they can store, will be significantly different. And you see the capacities, right? We have the distinction of effective and usable capacities, but many vendors do not because they don't have proper dedupe. And another simplicity for you is expansion. In appliance is the easiest way to expand appliance. And the Unitrans and Barracuda doesn't expand at all. And with others, you will need to buy and deliver additional hardware, find the space, and so on. Like, for example, when you talk about Veritas, you see the 1920 terabyte model. Must be wary. It is a 19U configuration of 5 boxes. If you delve deeper in the specific vendors, Unitrans plays a very small business segment, and their pricing is still way higher for the same business outcome and the same amount of data. This is the data from their website, and apple-to-apple comparison, you see how much more competitive you can be at the deal. With Rubrik, the prices are from a stratosphere. So once you go into a deal, you will be extremely competitive, and you can provide more services for the same budget. You can deliver advisory services, consultation, implementation services, or additional things from the portfolio for the customer and have much more satisfied customer. Similar story would be if you go against Veritas. Veritas has half a petabyte model that costs $800,000. And the maximum 1.92 terabyte model, 1920 terabyte model, will cost about $4 million. Nothing like that in our lineup. Barracuda is another side of the spectrum. They have a desktop model. I don't know if a company who deals with 1 terabyte of data. Even I have more than one. Even my flash drive has more than one. But they do have it. And as you can see, again, much more competitive with ArcServe. You give much more functionality, disaster recovery. There's a smaller models. Ours is to you, theirs is for you. And the price is also extremely competitive. And the last one is CommVault. CommVault is known for being very pricey. So there is no price comparison. There will be no even a question on price. But the interesting thing that CommVault sells appliances on a subscription. And with minimum of 3 appliances to operate, and the list prices are subscription with a minimum of 3 years payment upfront, customer will have to fork out, say, $680,000 for 3 years, and then fork out another $680,000 in 3 years' time. Our prices and our licensing is perpetual. So that's it on competitive. As you can see, you will be competitive with our appliances against pretty much any other player in the industry. So how do you go about being successful? There are a lot of tools that we provide for end users, for you to provide to end users as well as for you yourself. There is a data sheet and the what's new and a few other materials and website pages and so on that you can use. And for you, there is a set of tools like an FAQs and others. The most important one is a cheat sheet. Cheat sheet is a 4-page document that has everything, the full encyclopedia of everything you need to know about the appliances throughout your sales process. Target audiences, key messages, solution, problem and solution, key features, and all the competitive information, qualifying questions, proof points, objection handling, everything is there. You can download this tool and all other tools in one single zip file from our website, which is called a partner kit. You go to our partner website, partner portal, that I will talk about in a second, and download all of these documents in one big tool. So once you're talking to the customer, how to size the appliance, there are 11 models, right? First, discover, find out everything about the environment. You will find out budget, that's the first thing you do anyway. And then all the things like RTOs and RPOs, number of servers, applications, priorities, retention policy, data growth, which is 42% per annum on average, according to IDC. And then calculate. You can do this with help of your engineers, with help of tools we will soon release, as well as with help of our ArcServe pre-sales. We will happily help size the opportunity. And once you identify the range of models from smallest minimum to largest, negotiate. Maximize revenue, use industry stats from the cheat sheet. We are happy to help if you need help in the negotiation process. But remember that data grows, and what they need right now may not be what they need in 2 or 3 years. So that's a very good argument for them to invest a little bit in their future. Once you identified the model, the quotation process is very straightforward. This is a sample quote for 9072DR. What you quote is the appliance itself and the maintenance. In this particular case, this is the 3-year gold maintenance. You must you quote all of this. The prices here are just standard list prices, and that's it. And yes, we have really good margins to make sure that you talk to your ArcServe partner representative to find out more how you can be even more successful selling our appliances. And a little bit more advanced case, if you have 360DR, larger appliance, you have checked with your ArcServe partner rep and you got an approval for a platinum maintenance for a specific location where appliance will be installed. Customer also requires a replication high availability add-on for their mission critical applications, and customer decided to go for a 5-year maintenance. The fact that the price is the same is correct. Maintenance is 20% per year, so for 5 years it will be 100% of the price. And then, of course, the last row, customer requires to connect the fiber channel device, so there is a fiber channel adapter in the price list. It is very straightforward coding. So let me just summarize. ArcServe appliances disaster recovery series, 9000 series, are designed for disaster recovery. It's accessible and affordable DR. Have a lot of beef, up to 20 CPU cores and 768 gig of RAM to spin up dozens of VMs if the servers go down. If there is a major disaster, there is a cloud disaster recovery add-on to spin up machines off-site, and high availability add-on for the mission critical applications. These are very scalable machines, have a lot of effective capacity and can manage even more with the unified interface. Deduplication is built in, and they can be expanded in place. And what you deliver is a peace of mind. Simplified business continuity and disaster recovery management, including backup. There is a software, hardware, and cloud services from one vendor, one support line, one throat to choke. And then it's very simple to install, just a single box, 15 minutes, plus or minus, put into the rack, connect the cables, go through the wizard, done. And then if something goes wrong, 4-hour support and next business day on-site support are available. So next step for you, go to ArcServe Partner Portal, log in, go to Appliance page, and get whatever you need for appliances and for yourselves, all the programs, all the margins, data, or the opportunities, as well as all the tools for you to be successful. The partner portal is available at partners.arcserve.com. And now we are ready to answer questions.
Great, thank you, Sam. We do have a few questions that came through the question tool. First one is, what type of RAID does the appliance utilize, and how many drivers can go bad without being down or unstable?
So the appliance has the RAID 6. Well, all the models go for RAID 6, so it's 2 drives redundancy. If up to 2 drives go down, the appliance still operates. And of course, with 4-hour support, our engineers will be there in no time and will replace all the failed drives as soon as they can.
Okay, great. And the next question is, are such replacement parts and or drives included with maintenance and or support, or is each drive failure replacement, does it come with at an additional cost to the customer?
Very good question. The hardware parts are included, parts and labor, everything is included with the maintenance. So there is absolutely no additional cost to customer and or you.
Okay. Next question. Does ArcServe have a complementary long-term archiving and or retention solution, or do you recommend using another manufacturer for true archiving, which would need to be searched out and restored based on a customer's data retention policies?
It depends on the customer and what kind of archiving solution they would require, right? We have archiving capabilities inside ArcServe Backup solution, and it can be used whether you want to archive to the cloud or to the tape for the data. We also have ArcServe UDP archiving for archiving the email solution emails in the environment, whether it's on-site or Office 365, and that can be actually installed on the appliance or be used from the cloud. So that's another option for you. If there are very specific requirements, like e-discovery kind, then you may need a separate solution for that. Because our appliances are designed for disaster recovery and backup, not really for archiving in that sense.
Okay. And what ArcServe software comes with the 9000 series appliance?
ArcServe appliances come with ArcServe UDP software, the disaster recovery and backup software, and 1U model come with Advanced Edition, and the 2U models come with Premium Edition of ArcServe UDP.
Okay. Do the 9000 series appliances integrate with ArcServe public or private clouds?
Yes. ArcServe appliances can integrate with private clouds, whether it's on-prem or separate office or in the data center. They support all the standard protocols. One of the easiest way would be to install secondary appliance in the private cloud, and they will work with each other very efficiently. And it also integrates with ArcServe Cloud, where with the optional ArcServe UDP Cloud Hybrid add-on, it's possible to back up to the cloud as well as to spin up machines in the cloud for disaster recovery. And it also integrates with AWS, Azure, Google, Eucalyptus, Fujitsu, and many other clouds for offsite backup and even DR.
Okay. And it looks like we got time for one last question. Where can I find additional technical specifications of the 9000 series appliance?
Additional technical specifications are available in the datasheet. First is the document, as well as in hardware installation guides that you can find. Both of them are available on partner portal, partners.arcserve.com. You can go to the appliance page, download the kit, and the kit will include all of this. You can also find the partner FAQ in the same kit. It's a document that has answers to 82 most popular and even not very popular questions about appliances. So there is a high chance if you have any questions, all answers will be inside the FAQ.
Okay, great. That concludes our presentation for today. Thank you very much, Sam. ArcServe, again, thanks to our partners for your time and your participation today. I'll leave the module up just in case there's any last questions, and we can answer those through email. But again, thank you very much for your time, and good luck and good selling. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everyone.